Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, I'm playing a video series of videos I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. Eat stuff and drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie, this wasn't my original review. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there and try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm going to yam around about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. Whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today? Happens to be my Puppet Master shirt. Yeah, buddy. Most of my shirts, my super cool shirts, are like band related. I go out to a lot of concerts and stuff. But, interesting fun fact about your friend and mine, Brandon Wenzel, I love horror films. I kind of became more associated with like martial arts films as I got older, but I grew up on horror films. My mom got me into them early on. My dad didn't entirely discourage it, despite some nightmares that made him rather upset later on. And it was just kind of one of those things that I fell into it, and I've been going with it ever since. Puppet Master films are definitely, up to a point, one of my favorite sort of horror franchises. After a certain point, it's kind of one of the worst ever, but if you ever want to go over there and talk about horror-related stuff, by the way, please feel free to hit me up in the comments section. We can go over there and yam around with one another. Anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Why is it not my original review? Well, it's not my original review because I'd originally was planning to review a different drink, but it wasn't cold enough yet. So I went over there, I shoved it in the freezer, so it's cooling down right now. And I decided to go over there and grab this one because it was cool enough. It just so happened to be, boom, from Arizona. This is their green tea pomegranate energy drink. Ooh. And it's got the sort of Fallout association. Of course, Fallout video game franchise and, moving into television and stuff like that. It's been very successful. I don't really have any personal attachment to the Fallout stuff. Like, it's a cool universe. Like, I've, watched some videos on it and stuff. But I didn't grow up playing the games or anything. But I appreciate that they have these drinks. I also did I think it was green tea with apple, I want to say. I don't know. I did one of the other ones. Let's get a thing for the thing, though. It looks like this. And we're just going to go, ha 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 ha. And, let's give it a go. I rarely see these, too. I kind of thought these were completely done, but I happened to go out to a relatively obscure gas station in my area, and sure enough, they had it. Ooh. That's got some bite to it. Yeah, you can definitely tell there's an energy drink core here. Kind of similar to like Baseline Monster, like the Green Monster. That sort of general citrusy energy drink. That's kind of what this was built on top of. And you can taste it. The last one that I did, again, I think it was the apple one. I don't recall it being as prominent a flavor, but so yeah, you do get that energy drink vibe kind of, underneath. But let's go in for a second sip. You don't judge off the first sip. And that's why you don't judge off the first sip. Second sip, that energy drink flavor, a little bit more subdued. The pomegranate flavor plays a bigger role. Because the thing is, whenever you go over there and drink something, especially out of a can, that first sip is like where all the flavor's just been building up on top, and so it tends to be a little bit misleading. And in this case, that's definitely how it feels. Because again, that first hit was very energy drink forward. This one still there. You definitely can still taste it, but again, you're getting more of that pomegranate flavor, giving it a little bit of fruitiness and a little bit of that earthiness from the green tea. It's an interesting mix of flavors. Because you got like an earthiness from the green tea, sort of a tanginess, sort of citrusiness from the energy drink, and then kind of a, almost slightly floral fruitiness from the pomegranate. It's interesting. I'm not going to say that it doesn't work, but I don't know that it works entirely. Because it does feel slightly confused, like, not entirely, but it's just one of those things where it's like, when you have flavors working together, either you want them to sort of blend together to create their own flavor, or you want to sort of have kind of a flavor journey, where you experience the different flavors. With this, it kind of hits you all at once, and it's sort of left up to you to piece together, okay, this is this, this is this, this is this. And I don't know that they ever completely mesh. But all the flavors themselves are nice. I mean, the energy drink flavor is not my favorite thing in the world, but, it's not a terrible energy drink flavor for what it is. It's not like the pomegranate's kind of like the bridge flavor, I feel, because again, you have sort of the earthiness from the tea, again, a little bit of a sort of floralness to the pomegranate, and then you get the fruitiness for the pomegranate, which kind of moves into the, citrusiness from the energy drink. But I don't think the pomegranate has enough strength to completely hold it together. But I do like it. It's got a little bite to it. It has some tanginess to it. The tea aspect is definitely the most downplayed. It is the least evident of the flavors. The most evident is that energy drink flavor. Even after the first sip, it's definitely still the most prominent flavor because it just has such a striking tanginess to it. Like, I do like it. It's just a little bit weird. Okay. 2 questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Yes and yes. Because despite me going over there and, explaining as I did how I don't feel like the flavors entirely complement one another, it's a bit of a mess, but it's like a mess in a way that, like, it doesn't entirely come together, but, like, all the components are pretty nice overall, and where they do mesh a little bit here and there, it kind of works. And so, it's definitely not my favorite Arizona flavor I've ever had, but I do kind of like what it's doing. I like the tanginess from the energy drink. I like the fruitiness from the pomegranate. I like that it has bite to it. Not a lot of Arizona flavors have bite to them, but I like that this does. And especially the more I'm drinking it, like, it's a little bit weird, but I do think I dig it. I can get down with that. And I do think that this is one where wouldn't be an immediate go-to flavor for me, but I could see myself grabbing this one again. Now, if I'm recommending it, it's probably not going to be for everybody. Even just the energy drink aspect is not something that, every person who's ever invested in Arizona flavors is going to be familiar with. I could see that being off-putting for some of the Arizona fan base, but I personally like it. I think it's a nice vibe. And again, the choice of flavors and the way they blend together, I don't think it entirely hits, but I do think there's something to it, and what with it being, I'm sure, like a limited edition flavor, I think if you run into it, it's definitely worth at least giving a shot. Worst case scenario, I don't think you'll hate it, but I could see some people just not really, vibing with it. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, hope you have yourselves a truly Fallout-tastic rest of your life? Yeah. I mean, probably not, because, like, the universe in that is terrible, so maybe not. But at least, like, the success of the games and the show and stuff. Final two things. Number one, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what do you do if you can't do it all the time? I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, excuse me. Ooh. I am full of cereal and milk and now Arizona energy drink. Try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. When we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there, whenever possible, take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully. Do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, let me know, what's your take on the Fallout stuff? Like I said, did you grow up playing the games, the older games, the newer games? Do you just watch the series or do you just not care at all? Like I said, for me, like one of my friends tried to get me into the earlier Fallout games when I was younger, but I just didn't really have the patience for that at that time. And then he tried to get me into, I think it was Fallout 3. I made a character and I just did stupid shit for like 2 hours. Like, I literally had no objective to the game other than to try to kill everybody I ran into with a bat. I was pretty good at it, though. So let me know, what's your whole thing with the Fallout stuff?